Hello and welcome, and today we're going to create a torrent server using the Raspberry Pi. Now the first thing we need to do is download the Raspbian image and flash it using Etcher. Now we've done this before, so what we'll probably do is we'll speed this up and we'll probably start linking to where the actual post install, post setup configuration of what our project is going to be is after we've done the SSH and the Wi-Fi details. Once this verifies, we'll just set up the Wi-Fi and SSH for remote access. Great, so here we'll mount our boot partition of the SD card and create a SSH file for remote access and our WPA supplicant.conf for the first boot with all our details in it. Once we're ready, we'll throw it in our pile and be ready to boot up. All the details will try and throw up on the screen now, otherwise I'll put in the information below there and I'll probably link to an article which describes it all, just so I've got multiple formats of it for you guys to read. Okay, now we just have to find the IP address of our Pi. In order to do that, we'll just connect to the router. Now I won't show you mine because my router is probably different, but it's going to be a similar process of accessing a gateway address, which is probably going to be a router, or should be a router, and looking at a DHCP list of wireless clients. Here, having the IP will shell into the Pi, accept the fingerprint, and update the repository. Now, this is a pretty standard process. The update will happen virtually every project we do. First thing we need to do is we flash the image, update the repository, and then end up upgrading on top of that. It ensures the latest packages are on there and hopefully bug fixes. Alright, now that we've updated our repository, all we need to do now is do an upgrade, and we'll upgrade any packages we need to do. Then we're ready to go installing our torrent server, which we'll be using Deluge. Now you might already know Deluge if you use Linux. It's a fairly light torrent client written in Python, and it's the perfect option for a headless PyTorrent server. The first thing we'll do is install Deluged, which is a Deluge daemon, and OK any additional required packages it will pull in. This should be fairly fast as they're small packages. Once we've done that, we'll install deluge console, which we'll use to configure something. We then launch deluge to create the config on startup, kill it back off, and then run the console so we can enter these settings. First we'll be allowing remote access and checking that is enabled, and then killing off deluge again if it's running. Next we restart deluge and install Python Mako and deluge web. Deluge web should pull it in, but just in case it doesn't, we'll install it separately. Better being safe than sorry. Now we've done that, all we need to do is start deluge web, and there's nothing left to do but go to our torrent server we set up. Well done. On a side note, when accessing your torrent server, the default port is 8112. Now when you load that page, you'll be prompted for a password. Now that password by default is deluge. It's encouraged that you change that. Other than that, we're all set up and ready to go. So where do we go from here? Well, we can use the knowledge we learned in the other video and set up a VPN with it so you can torrent over the VPN. Now, although it doesn't look like it, I do put a lot of effort into these videos. So if you liked it, feel free to subscribe or give it a like. If you didn't like it, feel free to tell me why in the comments. And if there's anything you'd like to see, let me know there too. Other than that, have an awesome day, and I'll catch you guys next time.